Record that. Video's going. Main audio track recording. Verified. All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1.
Hello, my name is Suburban Housewife. My bio is 7 random nouns. Hello, my name is Proud American. My job is America and my husband is a gun. Good afternoon. Hello, my hobbies are being real and my interests are breathing. I am an eagle wearing a hat.
Sorry I woke you. When did you shave?
The morning stream. Bread goes in, toast comes out. You can't explain that.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the morning stream. It is Thursday, September 10th, 2020. I'm Scott Johnson. He's Brian Ibbett. Good morning, Brian Ibbett.
Hello, Scott. Look at this. All this iTalk, pre-show iTalk, which the patrons are going to hear. And I think now I've got an eyelash in my eye.
Oh, no. All that talk about your contact, and there's now an eyelash in there.
I got it.
Oh,
I got it. Do you, did your parents do the thing where when you pull out an eyelash or like you get a loose eyelash? Oh, I didn't get it.
It's still in there.
Yeah, they put it on your finger and you blow it away and make a wish.
No.
Is that just
Is that a thing? Never heard of that.
A weird Ibbett family thing?
Maybe.
Claire Gack says the same thing. Maybe it was my British side of my family because Claire's from Ireland.
Oh,
Ireland.
Could be a little UK business. Yeah, we never did that I'm aware of. But my mom did that thing where she always had a little wad of Kleenex in her bag everywhere we went. Mm-hmm. And it didn't matter where we were at. She would whip that thing out. She would spit on it or lick it.
Yes.
And then wipe my face. Like if I had a little chocolate on the corner of my mouth or something, my mom would wipe my face with that freaking disgusting thing. This might be why I'm grossed out by certain things. She may have done that.
It totally
to me.
could be, yeah. Oh, I can so totally see it.
Did you get it out?
No, I'm looking at it right now. It is
this is a great view.
To the right of my I know, is this great?
Yeah. Is that your phone? What light are you using? What is that?
It's a little portable.
Oh, look at that.
It's great. It's magnetic, so you can stick it on things, and
it's good for when you're trying to do stuff with your car at night, that sort of thing.
Yeah, or 3D printer, like getting underneath stuff, and yeah, it's very handy.
I need one of those.
No, I'm blind in my left eye, and I might have just burned the eyelash out. I don't know, but it's definitely still in there.
You're gonna have that thing where you're gonna see a glow for the next.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like right.
Well, I'm trying to think if my parents had any kind of wish on it thing other than birthday candles. I think it was like maybe that, and then a star. I was always wishing upon a star.
Yeah, falling star, right.
Those are pretty standard.
A few people in the chat room said that they did that
the
that
eyelash
blow
thing.
and make a wish thing. Yeah.
Now, would it be so? How would you obtain the eyelash in those scenarios, though? Would it be
like basically it's like, oh, I'm rubbing my eye or whatever, and you do that thing where you kind of pull on your eyelashes to kind of straighten them out if they get all twisty.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, there's an eyelash, and you'd hold your finger out.
Yeah.
And you'd go, and you'd make a wish, and then you go, and yeah.
All right. I mean, it's no judgment here. Just had never heard of it.
Exactly. It's
takes all kinds.
Weird stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty weird, but not as weird as the question we got overnight.
Oh, okay.
This is a weird question, and I couldn't. Normally I'm like, well, I don't want to pack the top of the show with a bunch of emails. Always, sometimes I like to spread them out or whatever. But I had to ask this one. This comes from somebody named Powerballs. Balls is with a Z.
Powerballs.
Yeah, it's much more cool that way. It's like very 90s ass name, I guess. Oh, can I tell you how much better I slept last night, by the way? So much better.
Oh, really? Oh, good. I'm still
so much better.
Still wrestling with a spider bite. I think it's a wolf spider. And what's a bummer about the wolf spider is do I get wolf superpowers or spider superpowers from a wolf spider bite?
Oh. Well, some combination, right? You'll be able to web people up and howl at the moon.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Great. Okay.
Very nice combo. Yeah.
Yes.
Also, I read, and I don't. It's like a rare possibility, but the wolf spiders can sometimes cause necrotic stuff where your skin, kind of like what the brown recluses do, but
yeah, where like the skin just kind of dies and eats away.
You don't want
that. It's gone from being very painful and kind of itchy and a red blot the size of a pepperoni, a large pepperoni on my foot, to being still a little painful when it's touched, not itchy, and maybe the size of a quarter.
Oh, it's like a little nipple on your foot.
Like a little nipple, but the like the bite mark is black. It's not supposed to be black.
Yeah, that is not supposed to be black.
So Tina's like, if it doesn't go away after a couple of days, maybe you ought to go see a doctor.
Yeah. Yes. And part of the problem is it's a much used surface of your body, right? You're stepping on it all the time, like you're always walking on it.
Yes, exactly. Well, it's the arch of my foot, but still
a lot of movement.
Socks rub against it, shoes rub against my bicycle shoes. I was on the exercise bike yesterday, and I was like, ow, ooh, ow.
Oh, jeez.
But I did increase my ladder ranking for Marvel Duel, so that's good.
Well done. That's your new go-to for while you're doing that.
my new don't think about being on an exercise bike, think about something else so it goes faster.
Nice. Yeah, if it stays black, well, it'll probably heal up. It sounds like once things start itching and getting smaller, that's always a good sign. So.
Exactly. I mean, I got bits Sunday and we're now at Thursday, and it's going away. So I think if there was something dire that was going to come from it, it probably would have happened by now.
Carter did take the saved mother with all its babies, the brown or the wolf spider. She did put it your direction toward those mountains.
Oh, I know. She and I are going to have a talk next time. Next time I see her about her unnecessary devotion to protecting spiders. It's they eat the things that you don't want, but they're not going to find any of that in my house. So once they get in my house, they've broken our truce, and they must be destroyed.
Do you spray every year, or what do you guys do? Do you spray your house, or do the perimeter?
No, we just step on them every time we get in the house.
Gotcha.
Listen, if I was tiny and I stepped into a spider's house, darn right they wouldn't here, let's pick them up and put them back outside. No,
chances are
they'd
low.
Eat me instantly.
Yeah, low chances they're going to do that for you.
Yeah, come on now.
That's the thing, is I tried to explain to her.
Carter's in the chat room.
Oh, is she
Let's
in there?
fight, Brian. oh, not so much of a pacifist now, are we?
Yeah, very warlike it seems suddenly.
Listen, we'll fight after I get this eyelash out of my eye. I think I got it.
Did you get it?
I don't see it in there anymore. Or it's gone into that weird limbo area between, under my, below my eyelid, and
that's the worst place for it.
That's kind of like, I kind of imagine that place to be kind of like under your car seats, like where stuff goes and it just, you never get it out. Like it just disappears forever.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean.
There's like a little, where, it's not like your eyelid and your eye just stops. And that's like a little place where it's like, oh, I can see everything that's in there. No, I mean, it just kind of drops into a hole down there.
Yeah. I've had that happen. And then it bugs you worse, and then finally you're like, oh my gosh, my eye's gonna explode, and then it comes out. It'll work itself out.
A French fry in there, a couple pennies.
Yeah, those French fries, they don't
Taco Bell sauce packet.
Yeah, little I don't know what I was gonna say, but I'm not gonna say it. Anyway,
okay, yeah.
Brian's eye.
Is it something that Prince would have found in the little red Corvette?
He might have.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I was thinking about Prince yesterday. It's funny you bring him up.
Yeah, how's his eye?
Well, Carter and I were talking about, probably right now, his eye's very necrotic right now.
It's very necrotic, yes.
We were talking about celebrity drug overdoses and how many there are. There's so many.
These father-daughter bonding moments. I never got those with Tristan.
Just the sweet moment you'll never forget.
Pass the potatoes. Hey, let's talk about Chris Farley.
Yeah. I don't remember it was like mostly singers and stuff, but it's a little shocking if you realize how many overdoses / accidental overdoses there are in music and in Hollywood, and it's just so much.
Sure.
It seems like fame and money isn't all it's cracked up to be. Maybe I don't know. I don't know what lesson to take from that. But
well, think about it this way: we hear about them because they're celebrities. They're probably maybe not because of less access to money, but probably a proportionate amount of people you don't hear about who die from drug overdoses every day. But because they're not celebrities, we don't hear about them.
Yeah, good point. That's good.
But less of that because of, less access to money.
Turns out mental illness and or depression and or any of those things, which is a form of mental illness, turns out that stuff's not exclusive to
amazing. We
yeah.
Celebrities don't have a lock on that.
Yeah, weird. How weird. All right, anyway, back to this weird question that I didn't ask yet. Oh, my whole point was I don't know why I slept well. I just did. I don't.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
That's right.
I haven't slept well in months, and it felt like I slept good last night. I think I was just exhausted, and it
Probably
all-
from the
all
lack
worked
of
out.
sleep the previous night. With
Yeah. Sometimes you need that. Sometimes you need a really rotten night to then have a sleepy night the next night.
Great.
Anyway, this question from Powerballs goes like this. And there's a weird couple of typos in here that are the same. The word how
I
is
know.
always a
Well,
H-O-W.
I think it's ho ho, like he's talking about being funny. Ho
Yeah.
ho ho.
Maybe this is all just a joke. But anyway, we'll see what he says.
Maybe.
How do you guys do it? You say funny stuff every day. I don't know how you do it. How do you do it? Do you even know you are doing it? Maybe you guys are funny without trying to be fun hey.
Fun hey.
Maybe it's like a thing you can't control. I would love to hear what your thoughts are on this. Signed, Powerballs. I don't know what to say to that. It's a weird thing to ask. It's weird, right? It's a little weird.
It is a weird thing to ask. I think I don't think we I'm sorry, I'm just adjusting my focus, getting myself into focus here.
Sure. That's important stuff.
As distracting as the chat room is, it's even more distracting when 11 people go blurry Brian, blurry, blurryville, blur Brian.
They're more distracting in numbers. This is true. We know this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that should look pretty good, pretty sharp. Okay,
You
I
look
think we're
sharp. You look sharp.
All right.
Yeah.
Sharp.
Sharp, Brian.
Load at start. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's science. You and I both we take special supplements, vitamins and supplements to keep being funny. We take Thursdays. Oh, tonight, as a matter of fact, is funny class.
Yeah.
I don't know when you take yours, but
Well, it's remote now, so you have to call it in. It's a Zoom call. Sometimes there's technical issues.
that's right. Yeah,
It's
I
not
haven't
what it
been
used
able
to
to
be.
in person, which is not funny.
Yeah, not funny at all.
Hard to be funny when Zoom.
Is there ever a funny moment on Zoom? There's not, except maybe we're having one now. I don't know. Maybe see Brian and I are on Zoom, and I don't know how we do it. Maybe this is a deeper question. Maybe this is supposed to wake us up to the fact that we're funnier than we think we are, and therefore we're leaving money on the table. You know what I mean? Like we should be.
No, I think it is. I know exactly. We're missing our calling. We should be doing something where funny makes more money.
Yeah, funny makes money, yo. That's the old phrase, right? Let's take it on the road, Brian. We'll do like I don't know. What could we call ourselves?
The TMS Comedy Tour
Oh.
2021. We can't start in 2020. Stephanie brings up, see, Brian trying to be funny is way less funny. Thank you, Stephanie. Awesome.
But I mean, that's the science of it. So we're learning a little bit here. We're grateful for
Exactly.
Powerballs for noticing, I suppose, that sometimes we're funny. And I don't. Well, whatever. I don't. People of my whole life, some people say, "Oh, you're funny. You're funny. And he's funny, or whatever." But I don't ever think of myself as funny. I think of myself as cracking myself up, and sometimes other people think that's funny.
Right. Yes.
I don't know if that's right.
We were both class clowns, and so it just kind of naturally evolved.
Yeah.
And I think the big part is that doing this show, we want to attract the people who think we're funny, as opposed to iHeartRadio or some company buying us and saying, "Oh, we're going to put the morning stream on every channel." Blah blah blah. And now it's like, oh, now we're being foisted upon people to decide if we're funny or not.
Yeah,
it was much better when we could just, people come discover it. Hey, I think we're funny. Great, stick around. Don't. That's okay
No,
too.
Get out of here then. If you don't think we're funny, go away. Exactly.
There's the Gebhardt morning stream. Maybe you can go check that one out.
Yeah. Although I guess it's defunct now, right? They're done.
I would be surprised if it's not. It's funny. I haven't looked in a while. We talked about Gebhardt the other day, and I was going to look, and I didn't.
I don't think it's up. Well, if it's up, it's not being regularly updated, but we should look. Let's see. Let's just check it out. The problem with searching is we always get us.
Yeah, we find us, which that's not the problem.
Morning stream. What are their names?
Lois and Frank. No, it's,
Lois and Frank. You're doing that thing I do to you now. Now I can't think of
Uh-huh.
it. Todd and Aaron.
Todd and Aaron. There we go.
Let's see. Morning stream Todd.
Oh, now it's called the Todd and Aaron Show.
Oh, there's the Todd and Aaron morning stream on Get Part Daily. Oh, this is 3 years ago, though. Let me see what the channel does. Okay.
Todd and Aaron Collard.
It's an all-digital platform, guys. This is awesome.
Oh, my gosh. Okay. That was Aaron.
Let's see. The last thing that they posted looks like it was 4 months ago.
Oh, yeah. Todd's Creepy Classifieds, it's called. Well, that's hardly a morning stream at all.
Hardly a morning stream, yeah.
Let's see what that is. I just want to see. Let's play a little tiny bit.
All right, here is number one.
Oh, it's all in my right ear, not left.
What is she holding?
Okay, there's a lot of stuff going
There's
on
a lot
here.
Okay.
And where's,
Okay.
by the way, where's the setup? Like, where's the introduction? It just goes right into it.
It just jumps right in.
It's like, and by the way, for people who can't see,
Yeah.
it's a photograph of a woman with maybe 4 Dremels in front of her
Yeah.
and a metal thing, but her cleavage takes up 2/3 of the photo.
Yeah.
And this is what they're talking about.
Yeah, it's exciting, hot, breaking content.
Yeah.
Check it out. You'll enjoy it at frankandlois.com. All right. Reminder, today is the last day you can pre-order the commemorative 2,000 episodes of TMS mug. This is it. We're closing it off today. So if you don't get in today, there's a chance down the road there'll be reprints or whatever. But right now, this is like your chance. The window is closing on that. So go to frogpants.com/store and it's right there. And you can see both sides of the mug and be super stoked about it and get that mug in your hands.
Question.
Yeah.
Will there be an Ember version?
No, not that I know of. No Ember version. It would have to be the Ember version would have to be all embered up, right? Like have to have like electronics in it and stuff.
It would have to have electronics. Yeah, I don't know if you can see the bottom of my mug.
Oh,
here,
right. There's the rings. That'd be cool, wouldn't it, if we could do that?
That'd be great. But yeah, no, that'd be
I don't know how
expensive.
you do it.
And
And it's probably trademarked or something, so you'd have to license the rights to make a off-brand Ember mug, I guess. I don't know how that
right,
works.
right.
But anyway, ours just let you drink things out of it. No fancy electronics. Here, we'll sell it. We'll spin it. Are you tired of having electronics in your items? How about this mug? Purely made of cool
Ceramic and,
yeah.
yep.
Printed on with rad ways to drink things out of it. With a handle. It comes with a handle. There you go. I've sold it.
Are you a Luddite?
We got good news for you.
Are you a Luddite who likes to drink coffee? We got the thing for you.
Do you know people you would call a Luddite in your life?
No.
I don't think I do either.
Do I? Ooh, I might. Let me think.
Because Luddites, they're always like, I mean, they eschew everything. I mean, they're based on an actual like group of people, right? Luddites were like followers of
so.
anti.
Blood. All hail the great Lud.
Oh, here it is. The Luddites were a secret oath-based organization of English textile workers in the 19th century, a radical faction which destroyed textile machinery as a form of protest. The group is protesting against manufacturers who use machines in what they called, quote, a fraudulent and deceitful manner to get around standard labor practices. Basically, they don't like automation, industrialization, computerization, or new technologies in general. So when someone gets called a Luddite, they're actually being compared to this 19th century freaking group. 1812.
Well,
Here's the leader of the Luddites, 1812.
Oh, please tell me his name is Lud.
Oh, I want it to be. I can't find the name. Etymology. Hold on. Developed into the imagery of the name. Let's see. Oh, Ned Ludd.
Ned Ludd. Oh, that's the best first name to go with Ludd.
Yeah.
Ned Ludd.
Yep. 1799 is when this name started happening.
My name
Ned
is Ludd.
Ludd. Oh, it does say. However, the name is completely fictional and used as a way to shock and provoke the government. The name developed into the imagery of General Ludd or King Ludd, but who was reputed to live in Sherwood Forest like Robin Hood. Wow. Okay. So they were just
Steal from the witch, or rich. Steal from the witch and give to the poor.
Always steal from the witch and then the rich.
Steal from the witch.
Witch first, rich later. Anyway, well, we've learned something. But the main lesson takeaway here is if you want the TMS 2000 mug, you got to go pre-order it now because today's the last day. Okay? Midnight tonight, it goes away. So go check it out, frogpants.com/store. That's frogpants.com/store.
There you go.
Yep.
Very good.
Brian, tell me more
Hey,
about Class Action, whatever that thing was. We
Yeah,
talked
so
about.
Nicole's recommendal yesterday, Class Action Park. Tina and I watched it last night. It's funny. Tina heard a little bit of recommendal. She didn't hear Nicole's recommendal, but she heard yours. So I guess she must have been listening and then got out of the car when right before Nicole gave her recommendal. But and she told me she's excited to watch Raised by Wolves.
Oh,
so
I was going to ask if I turned
great.
her. Okay, sweet.
You turned her. Raised by wolf spiders. I can't wait to watch it. I hope it's going to be good.
It'll be great.
But Class Action Park is great. If you saw that 45-minute or hour-long YouTube documentary that was a couple of years back, this adds a lot more stuff and a lot better production to it. And they've got interviews with comedians who grew up in that area who went there, like Chris Gethard. Is it pronounced Gethard or Gethard? I can't remember, but he is absolutely hilarious.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Does he credit the place with, like, I don't know, helping him be a funny guy, or what's his deal?
He doesn't. No, as a matter of fact, there's no even mention that he's a comedian, but I've seen him in other things, and so it's like, oh yeah, I know that guy, and I've seen him on Kimmel or something like that. But
sure.
He does talk about all the different rides, and they've got way more video of the different rides than that documentary a couple of years back, because it's got they've got the of course they talk a lot about the loop-de-loop water slide, but then there's also one that's like on airplane baggage rollers, a slide that you go down and
Wow.
nothing, no fingers or anything are going to get caught in those.
Weird thing to do. Wait, is it actual rollers from
I don't know if they're actual rollers, but they might as well be, because they looked like the same kind of thing, like they just stole it from a abandoned airport or something.
Wow.
And
That's great.
and then this water slide where it dumps you out about 15 feet above the surface of the water, and you just kind of hang there like before you hit the ice cold water.
It sounds all right. Seems like fun.
great.
If I was 16, I'd totally go there. You kidding?
Yeah, I
Sounds like
know.
a
And
blast.
they talk a lot about how when we were kids,
Mhm.
and a bunch of our audience were kids, if our parents knew half the stuff that we did back then,
Yeah.
they'd be mortified about like how dangerous we were being. As a matter of fact, if our kids did the things that we did back then, we'd be mortified as parents.
Yeah, we would. Like some of the dumb stuff I got up to, especially at night.
On bicycle or whatever, like
yeah. Yeah. Like just like, well, you climbed up to the top of what and jumped where? Like they would
exactly. Yeah.
They'd be freaked out. I mean, I guess kids
So crazy.
still do this stuff. It's just
Kids still do it, but I think with the rise of helicopter parenting, probably a lot less.
yeah,
than we
they're
used
at least being watched a lot more. Parents know where their phones are at all times, so they can kind of track them a little bit. Like there's a lot more of
Yeah.
that going on. But yeah, we were pretty latchkey when we were growing up, and my mom was like, "All right, we'll just be here by 5 for dinner." So what I did between noon and 4 on a freaking Saturday was up to me and my dumb friends.
Man, yeah, totally.
It was good times.
So that was Class Action Park. Just echoing Nicole's recommendal, definitely worth checking out. I also finished up Kidding season 2,
Right, you were talking. You
the final
recommended that.
season. So it's a 2-season show. If you haven't seen it, it's like it's also on Showtime. So if you're hooking up Showtime to get that Go-Go's documentary, stick around and watch Kidding.
Nice.
Jim Carrey as kind of a Mr. Rogers kind of kids show, very Mr. Rogers styled kids show, and but very, it's got some dark elements, and it's got just a great cast. Justin Kirk, Judy Greer,
Oh, I love Judy Greer
Frank
so much.
Langella,
Oh my gosh, that's great.
Catherine Keener. So you haven't seen any of it, Scott?
No, this sounds fantastic though. That's a great cast.
It is excellent, and it is so well written, and they really it got canceled at the second season, but they did a great job of wrapping things up in a way. It's like, okay, it kind of leaves a little mystery, but not like a super bad cliffhanger. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, kind of see what might happen from this.
That's good. That's good. That's too bad it didn't. What channel was it on, or what network was running
Showtime. It was on
Oh.
Showtime.
It's too bad it couldn't keep going.
It is too bad.
I feel like
'cause-
Showtime.
but what a great cast, and I think this might be my favorite thing that I've ever seen Judy Greer in.
Oh wow, that's
And I
tall
love
talk,
her, so
she's
it's like
awesome.
that's a big compliment.
Yeah, I like her a lot. All right, I'm gonna watch Kidding then. I'll do it.
Please do. You should.
Yeah. You wrote on here Kidding 2, so I was like, wait, is that a movie? Is it a sequel? I couldn't get my head around it.
I try to be vague so you don't give away too much in my in introducing what I'm going to be talking about.
Yeah, no, you did a good job. Totally nailed it. I'm starting to see how this works now. I was going to say one thing about that. What was I going to say? I forgot. I had something to say. I don't remember. Oh, my wife found another one of those shows I hate. She found a show I hate.
Oh, no. What is it?
You know how she does these? She finds these and then just binges them and loves them and then goes on to Heart of Dixie and freaking...
the Hallmark Christmas shows.
Yeah, and Lucifer and all this. They're all...
Riverdale. Did she do Riverdale?
She liked Riverdale. I hated it. Yeah. She really is into this new thing called... Well, not new. It's actually old. I think it ran from 2010 to 2015. But it was called Haven. Does anyone remember Haven?
No.
It was loosely based on some Stephen King business, but it was like X-Files meets... This town's always got weird supernatural shit going on in it. And I've never
even heard of this.
I can barely stand it. It's so hard for me to watch. But she loves it because it's one of these. It's another one of these. Pretty people getting their thing on and... making it happen.
What thing are they getting on, Scott?
Not nearly as fun as that made it sound. It's just a lot of, I don't know. It's hokey, and I'm trying to like the shows my wife likes. I really am. I don't like it. Haven's not great.
I also was going to mention, didn't want to use it as a recommendal in case either you or Nicole used it, but we watched Bill and Ted Face the Music, and
how'd that go?
Also enjoyed it a lot more than enjoyed it about as much as I expected I would, because just based on Steven's review that it's as good as the first two movies.
Yeah, which is good to hear.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like that director. He made Galaxy Quest, one of the greatest films of all time that shouldn't have been. And so I expect it to be better than I expect it to be. So I got to just do it. We were supposed to do it last weekend. We got busy with other stuff. Didn't do it. By the way, my niece just been in labor for a freaking week and a half or something. They finally decided it's a long. It's basically she's having early, like the Braxton Hicks whatever. But then they were like, well, we can't do it yet. She's her first baby. We don't want to. So then yesterday they're like, all right, we're gonna go. Oh shoot, it's not gonna work. Get out the scissors. We're doing a C-section.
Oh, geez.
So she's recovering from that this morning. Baby's fine. She's fine. Everyone's okay. But it's just a lot going on in the Johnson house right now.
Yeah.
So I'll get fine. Bill and Ted in.
You'll get to stuff, sure.
I'll get to Bill and Ted maybe this weekend. Maybe that'll be the plan. Okay. You know what we got time for now?
News.
It's today's news, and it's brought to you by...
It's brought to you by yesterday's Coverville, which we'll do today. Crazy. It's like a weird time travel-y thing.
Yeah.
Recording Coverville today because of Labor Day pushing everything out a little bit, but it is going to be a salute to Mark Ronson and Bruno Mars, turning 45 and 35. Guess who? Which is which? And so that means, of course, there's going to be a cover of Uptown Funk, but there's also going to be covers of everything else. Nothing Breaks Like a Heart, Grenade, Just the Way You Are, The Lazy Song, all that stuff. Coming up at 1 p.m. today, Mountain Time. That's at twitch.tv/Coverville.
Bruno Mars is a little tiny fella, right? A little tiny guy.
I do think he's short. Yes, yeah. I believe that is the case. He appears to be.
Yeah, diminutive, perhaps is the
diminutive. The diminutive Bruno Mars, much like the planet. He's not the smallest, but he's smaller compared to some of the gas giants.
Yeah. There you go. He's no.
Is that a good way to say it?
He's no. Let's say on one end of the scale, you have James Hetfield, big, tall, music guy, and then on the far other end, you got a little dude like him.
Lars Ulrich.
Yeah, Lars Ulrich on the other side. He did look really small in that concert. His tiny head popping up, going. They would, because Hetfield would say, "Oh, we enjoying ourselves," and you'd hear him go.
Look at his pocket. What's that, Lars?
Yeah, what's that, buddy? Keep playing those drums. Anyway, hey, there's a story for you. A burger you might want, or maybe not. Kyle Barlow of Mataha's Takeaway in Workington, Cumbria. This sounds British.
Cumbria.
Said, so basically they have this burger, and it's so big that you'll have to do or let's see, how did they do it? He says, the headline's weird because it wouldn't copy over, so I had to do this. Hold on. The exact headline is not coming up. Here it is. Takeaway creates 2 stone burger. This is definitely in the UK.
Definitely UK, yeah. 2 stone. Oh, how big is that burger? 2 stone.
30,000 calories, but it's free, 100% free if you can eat it in an hour. If you can't do it in an hour, you pay for it. If you can eat it within the hour, it's free. You don't have to pay a dime.
Yeah, great.
Now
I think that should be just a general rule.
Mm-hmm.
Don't eat anything that is given to you free if you can eat it in a short amount of time.
I think
because
they're confident
just screams,
that you can't.
There's a reason that they're doing that.
Yeah, it's confident. There's a confidence in the company side. The house will win in this case, is what we're saying.
Yes.
There it is.
So
chat room.
30,000 calories. How many is like what we got? Pounds and.
Let's see. If it's 2
is that
stone.
a picture of it?
Let's see. The cheese alone is 2,000 calories, by the way.
Ugh.
The beef.
It's like a block of cheese. Oh my God! Look at this dumb thing.
The beef is 30,000 calories. The cheese is 2,000. Putting it at 32 estimated.
They like pepperonis in this thing and bacon.
Oh man!
And then like a few cucumber slices and lettuce at the very bottom there.
I mean,
Nice.
I don't. The Heart Attack Grill does similar stuff with if you weigh a certain amount, you get the food free. Or what's the deal there? I forget what their thing is. Like
if you don't die in their restaurant, your check is taken care of by one of the women in nurse uniforms.
Oh, that place is freaky. You know, they should be able to transition just easy to the COVID time. They just wear those masks they're already wearing. The nurses already wear masks in there.
They'll actually have no problem because I'm sure that everyone in there is more than 6 feet apart because it's probably like very, very sparse the number of customers that they have right now.
Yeah, I think you're.
They don't have to worry about, oh wow, our 3 customers. Yeah, I guess we can just sit each one in a corner and we're fine.
Exactly. So I'm trying to think who would do this because it's an expensive burger. I mean,
how much is it if you don't finish in an hour?
I'm trying to find here. Let's see. Does it say? I mean, here it's the equivalent of 56 normal burgers. That's 24 pounds of beef. Okay.
Yeah.
20 slices of bacon, and the cheese alone is over 2,000 calories worth of cheese. Oh, I didn't even show the chat room this image. Look at that.
Oh, you got to show them the photo.
Yeah, the one Brian was looking at with all the pepperoni. Look at that thing. What is that on top there? Is
That's UK bacon.
Oh, they do bacon different than we do.
Or pork belly or something.
Zoe, can you
confirm? Is that a? Let me get my bacon identification device.
Yeah. She is my bacon identification device. Oh yeah, look at Brian's got.
Does that look like that? Kind of looks like that.
Yeah. Mine's over here somewhere. Oh, look, we both have them today.
Yeah.
There's mine. Hi, everyone.
See? Monocle.
Yep, monocle. Brian's a redder. My camera's making me look too white today. I gotta figure that out. Anyway.
Camera's so white.
Yeah, camera's so white. It doesn't say the cost of the thing, which I'm annoyed by, because what's the point of telling me this if you don't tell me how much the damn thing costs?
Hey, if you have to ask, you can't afford it.
Yeah. I think I would probably, well, I know I'd be violently sick, but I'm sure I'd just die. Look at this. I'd just die.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, this is not like one of those patties feels like it would be enough for me, right? Like that's right. Bigger than a flattened out. It's thicker than a flattened out Freddy's patty.
Yeah.
And you get 2 of those.
Yeah, look at that. You're totally right about that. Also, it just feels like there's about 15 chances of weird things being in there that you didn't see get in there. Like,
oh man, and can you if you squish that thing down over a over a measuring cup, like how much oil and grease do you think would come out of that thing?
More than you're allowed to have within 8 years worth of grease or something?
Exactly, yes.
All right.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
No.
Anyway, and they know that, so that's why they do it, and nobody ever gets it. So.
It's one of those gimmick things like, we have the $5,000 mashed potatoes because it's got gold flake on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It gets them attention in the newspapers and it gets people to hear about their restaurant, but they're never ever going to sell a single one of those.
No. Who eats that?
Maybe the Guy Fieri.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh,
yeah.
These gold leaf mashed potatoes are off the hook.
These are off the hook. These are gangster.
These are off the chain.
That guy's great though. He's like feeding firefighters in California again.
He is. You know what?
great.
He is a great guy. He's a real deal.
Yeah, I like that about him. He's easy to look at the
He's
stereotype. and
easy
throw
to make
shade.
fun of with his Nickelback wardrobe, but he's the real deal.
Literally pay the nickel. Here's a good story for you. Here's what we all should be doing. Save for your future. This guy, we'll call him the son of a couple of parents, sold his 20. I guess that's true
Let's
of
call him
anybody.
that.
Yeah, let's call him that. He sold 28 years of birthday whiskey and bought his first house with it. So
Okay.
here's how this went. Matthew Robson of Taunton, this is again another UK story, it's on the BBC, was born in 1992, and over the course of his life, so that makes him 28, 29, something like that.
Sure.
Over the course of his life, his father Pete has spent about 5,000 pounds on 28 bottles of
There you go.
Macallan single malt.
28 bottles.
Do you know what a Macallan single malt is?
It is. It's a scotch. It's a very fine scotch.
Okay. Something Randy would sit around bragging about.
Definitely. I think Randy, I'm looking to see actually if Randy is the one who bought all this so this guy could buy a house.
Yeah, it seems like his brand of.
Brian, did I ever tell you about when I had scotch with with Amy Mann from the band Till Tuesday?
Oh, no. Tell us more about it.
Don't I didn't have anywhere to go with that, I'm afraid. I
man.
I pulled the cord and didn't have a parachute.
Hoping for a huge bunch of content from you just now. The collection is now worth more than 40,000 pounds and has been put up for sale. The 28-year-old, he is 28, says it right there, said it probably wasn't the best gift for my young boy, with the strict instruction never being to open them. Basically, he told him that.
Really?
Yeah, and it's become quite the little nest egg.
Well,
it was
I imagine, when he's 3, saying, don't open this and drink it. That kind of makes sense. But
Yep.
when he turned 21, did his dad not say, well, now you can open one of these and
yeah,
enjoy it?
maybe just one would have been okay. But
Yeah.
Matthew said he was under strict instructions never, ever to open it.
Wow.
That of his whiskey presents every year. And he was told never to open them. His father, Pete, who's from Millenthorpe in Scotland, said the first bottle of 1974 whiskey was bought to wet the baby's head. That's not a good accent, but
It's not a good thing to do.
No.
Wet the baby's head with some whiskey.
no, it's not at all. Says here, I thought it would be interesting if I bought one every year, and he'd end up with 18 bottles of 18-year-old whiskey on his 18th birthday. Over there, 18 is the legal drinking age. It wasn't the only present he got from us, but it was meant to be a unique present, and it was a little bit of luck that we just kept it going. Well, now it's worth a ton of money, and he got a house for it. So well done. Well
Cool.
done.
God, 18-year-old scotch. It's got to be stale by now. It's just got to be.
How does scotch work? I don't even know. Like, is it
No,
better
I'm
the
kidding.
older
It
it
ages.
gets? It's like wine?
It ages. I've never been a fan of scotch. It is for me, it's the burniest of all whiskeys. of all liquors.
But it is a whiskey, right?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know these
It
things.
is a whiskey. It's a form of whiskey.
All right.
Bourbon is a form of whiskey.
But scotch it seems like it's always been a little hoity and toity, Like
I think it depends on and somebody can correct me on this. Somebody should correct me on this, but I think it depends on the kind of barrels that it's aged in, whether it's bourbon or scotch or whiskey.
the kind of wood that the barrels are made of.
The kind of wood, I think. Yes.
Okay.
The longer it's in a barrel, longer it's in the barrel, right? Depends on where it's distilled, I believe, too. Okay.
A lot of disagreement in the chat about bourbon versus scotch. Some hate bourbon and love scotch. Some hate scotch and love bourbon.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had either. Not even by accident in Mexico.
Not even by accident.
That's what's so dumb. The one chance for me to accidentally get alcohol, and it's like the most watered down, sugary thing ever.
Right, exactly. It's like, I didn't even get enough to really enjoy it. If I'm going to break the seal, at least, make it something worthwhile.
Yeah, it was lame. That's
Here we go. AV Tech John says the main difference between Scotch and whiskey is geographic, but also ingredients and spelling. Scotch is whiskey made in Scotland, while bourbon is whiskey made in the USA, generally Kentucky.
I didn't know
Scotch
this.
is made mostly from malted barley, while bourbon is distilled from corn. So Malted barley versus corn.
Huh.
And then, of course, the location.
We use corn for everything.
We do.
Here in the States. Yeah.
Corn is plentiful.
Yeah.
Corn syrup. We make syrup out of it.
Yep. We put corn where corn's not supposed to be.
We even made a whole palace of it in, where is that, Kansas or Nebraska? Or,
is that true? I didn't know that.
Corn Palace? Yeah.
Oh,
Have you not seen photos of the Corn Palace?
No, I'm looking that up now. That sounds rad.
Please do. Please look at the Corn Palace.
Okay, the Corn Palace. Oh my gosh. That's real.
That's real, yes.
What the frick? That's all corn?
The murals and designs covering the building are made from corn and other grains, and a new design is constructed each year. Beneath the corn, it's got an actual...
Oh, okay. Because you got to be up to code. You can't just...
It's got to actually have a structure, yeah. But
but all this stuff on the outside is corn.
All that stuff on the outside is done with corn. It's corn!
Ooh, there's a big Elvis mural on there made of corn. That's cool.
South Dakota is where this is at. Okay. Mitchell, South Dakota.
If I was in Mitchell, South Dakota, I would absolutely make a stop here.
Oh, are you kidding me? Yeah.
Yeah, in a heartbeat. This would be...
Because what else are you going to be doing in Mitchell, South Dakota?
Yeah. This may be the only draw.
This might be, this might be just enough to pull you away from North Dakota.
Yeah.
Just come down to South Dakota just to check this out.
It's pretty cool. All right. No offense to Dakotas, either of you. You're both,
no, not at all.
No, you're both fine. You got the Stonehenge, not
Find
Stonehenge.
Find people on both sides of North Dakota and South Dakota.
Not Stonehenge. What's the president thing called?
Mount Rushmore.
Mount Rushmore. One of those things. Stonehenge. What the frick is wrong with me? All right, we're gonna take a break. When we come back, my genetically proven sister Wendy, who is a professional in the mental arts, will be here to talk about a specific thing that may affect a lot of people. You may know somebody like this. It's a pretty basic thing, but we haven't talked about it before, so we're going to do that today via an email we got, and then after that, bonus mashup and some more stuff at the end of the show, so stick around. Brian, play a song now, though. We need a song.
Yes. We're going to Los Angeles for a quartet called The Gooms. Gooms, like spelling grooms without an R. Okay. Or Pixies. Great comparison.
Yeah, very Pixies-ish. Pixies-like, you might say.
Pixie-like or Pixie-esque. That's something I haven't used in a while.
Pixie-esque.
Everybody take a drink.
I like the term pisky. Pisky?
Pixie-esque.
You know, the Pinsky file. Well, I'm familiar.
Tara Lipinski also makes a very big appearance in Kidding, the TV show with Jim Carrey.
Tara Lipinski. Well, that's a hell of a cast.
Without Johnny Weir.
Weird. So how's John?
That was awesome. Catherine Keener's excellent.
How's Jim Carrey generally? Like he went kind of nutty in the last few years. Is he?
This feels like a role that he was meant to play because it is very Jim Carrey in the fact that he's manic, kind of goes from one extreme to the other as far as being really positive and cheerful at one moment and then being just kind of dark and
yeah.
So
is he right? Is it obviously like, hey, this is like a Mr. Rogers type, like you're meant to see him as that?
Yes. Okay. And he is, and he, you know, by all measurements, he is a Mr. Rogers type. He is the guy that you want Mr. Rogers to be off camera, where he's like, oh yeah, this isn't just so
it's not some kind
who
of
I am when the cameras are rolling.
He's not murdering people at night or anything weird like that. Like it's.
You'll just have to watch.
I'm gonna have to watch it.
No, he's not murdering people at night.
Okay, I like that you hesitated because it sounded like maybe he murders people at night.
There's a few dark moments that somebody being that positive might have to allow for if they bottle things up or compartmentalize or
fair enough,
or things like that, which is a great lead into Wendy, although she's not on yet.
Yeah, but, she just sent me a text that says, "Oh my gosh, stall for 1 minute. I had something come up," and I said, "Okay, we're stalling for 1 minute.
No, we're vamping. So, but yeah, no, they're half-hour episodes, 10 episode seasons. This is something you can watch in a couple weekends.
Yeah.
So good, so good.
So here's a quick email from Jeff Sire. You know our old pal up north, Jeff Sire.
Yeah, I love this email too. Yes.
Yeah, he says. Scott and Brian, a very brief political question with a short setup. I personally feel like Scott has expressed that the best system is in the middle and borrows elements from everything else. I am definitely a centrist in pretty much every way. I like our socialized healthcare here in Canada, but also think that bureaucracy ultimately breeds more bureaucracy. I also agree with him there. I agree with a lot of libertarian ideas, but I also think, and think that I know how to spend $1 on myself than the government knows how to spend $1 on me, meaning he's better at doing it. So listening to that piece on Action Park in Recommendals yesterday made me wonder this. Someone who is a hardcore, all-in libertarian, like Brian Brushwood, he says. Brushwood's pretty libertarian.
He is.
How does he feel about a place like Action Park? This place obviously had zero regulatory oversight and was just left to do whatever they wanted. Is this a libertarian success story in the in that the lawsuits put it out of business and the market corrected itself? This might be a little too serious for the show, but it made me wonder, Jeff. I don't think it's too serious. I mean, it's an interesting question. I don't know if I'm equipped to answer it, except to say,
I think that Schwood would be in favor of it as long as his kids weren't going there.
yeah, right. Like sometimes that's how we get about stuff. Like the fact that it existed is great because now we get to talk about it. They have this cool documentary. Like there's a reason to look at it and go, oh man, that would never happen today, but I'm glad it happened. So we have this cool documentary. Like I can feel that way, and at the same time say, yeah, if there was a place like this now, I don't want my kids at this. Like why would I want them to go to this?
Yeah, for sure.
But and if people, people, the way I'd look at it is any historical record, like you're meant to learn from it. So you can look at something like this and look at the lawsuits, the people who are injured. I guess there were some deaths.
There were deaths. Yeah.
That sort of stuff. And you can say, yeah, probably not a thing we should do. But I know there are people who probably would answer this question, hell yeah, it should just exist. Let the market decide. And then there's people like me where there's like, yeah, but maybe just a little bit of...
Right, exactly. Maybe there should have been at least one adult present during the...
But I don't want to go too far over and go, every moment of everything should be watched carefully and made to be as innocuous as possible. Like I don't want to go that far either. So
I use the phrase, what would Ron Swanson do?
Well, we know what he'd do because he was a hardcore libertarian.
He was hardcore libertarian, exactly.
He was a schwitty. He had a schwitty. That sounds terrible.
Wow.
Hi, Wendy. How are
Wendy.
you? That's perfect timing. We were talking about how libertarians are different than others. That's all. That's all that was. Our brother claims to be a libertarian, but he's more of a conspiratorian. So.
Well, I think libertarians are. I find it interesting because I think, on one hand, there's this like distrust of people. That's partly why you're a libertarian.
Sure.
And then, how could you possibly expect things to go well when that means you must actually trust people? It throws me off.
Yeah, there's a little bit. It's a little bit of a conflict there. I agree. It's hard because I have tendencies in this direction, and whenever I take those tests, like what political affiliation are you? It always tells me libertarian, always. So it'll say, oh, you would vote for Ron Paul or whatever, which isn't true necessarily, but it always thinks that's me. So I clearly have some leanings toward, let the market decide, or free and open markets, not too much regulation. Like I like that, but I'm not. The idea that you could have a theme park where all rules are off, anything can happen, loop-de-loop water slide. Like that's just insane.
Jumping off of walls into, simultaneously onto the kids down below, swimming in the water.
Yeah, I don't know. So my centrist, I'm happy in my centrist space. I like being here. It's where I want to be. Wendy, it's good to have you here, and it's my sister. Everybody, she's her name is Wendy Ann Dunford, and she's awesome. She was just here in the Valley 2 weeks ago. Boy, good timing, by the way, because now your niece just had a C-section. We had hurricane force winds the other day that caused half the city to fall apart. So well done. You missed it by that much.
Trees.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It was so bad. It was bad. 112 miles per hour was clocked downtown.
Wow.
Whoa. Downtown?
Yeah. That's hurricane force wind. Like we're lucky we didn't have buildings go down. We got pretty good earthquake code here, so that probably helped.
Right. But your old beautiful trees are all
like 200-year-old trees all down there in the avenues, like that stuff that's been there for long before we got here. bang, boom, done, out. It's awful.
sad.
Anyway, doesn't matter because we're not here to talk about that. Wendy comes on the show on Thursdays. We talk about mental health issues. Often it's your emails that we answer, and today it's one of those. I'm going to read this email from an anonymous writer-inner. Is that the right term? It's a writer-inner. Anyway.
A writer-inner.
Says, hi, friends. Not a super serious topic, but my fiance is trying to give up vaping and his nicotine addiction. Was wondering if Wendy had any tips on how to be a supportive partner during the transition. Part of me feels guilty because I am basically forcing him to do this for health reasons, but I know at the end of the day, it's going to be the best thing for both of us. Email me if you need any follow-up. Just thought this might be semi-interesting for discussion. I love you guys. I actually did send an email out with some follow-up questions that I didn't get an answer to, so we don't. There's some additional info Wendy was hoping for that we didn't get, but we can kind of navigate around that. What do you think, Wendy? Because I've got friends right now trying to. I have a specific friend. I won't name names because probably doesn't want me to, but trying to give up smoking after 20 years of it, and
it feels like that's the way to go, right? Because you quit smoking by maybe starting vaping, but then with vaping, you have the ability to turn down or buy mixes that have less and less nicotine in them, as opposed to
you
can't buy
wean.
Cigarettes that have less nicotine.
Right. You can wean off of it, unlike cigarettes where it's like, oh, I'll only smoke 2 packs today. Okay, tomorrow I'll only smoke a pack.
Right.
I mean, it's a form of weaning, but it's not the same. So, it's interesting. But anyway, so where do we want to go with this one?
Where do we go, Wendy?
Did we lose her? Oh, no, you're right there. I thought we lost.
We lost her at wean.
Yeah.
We lost me at wean. No.
Jamie.
So the question is, how do I be a supportive partner during the transition? So the follow-up I wanted to know was, give me an example where you thought you were being supportive and it backfired. Because so often we have this idea of that supportive, and everyone does this. Everyone believes their version of supportive is the right version because it would be supportive for you or whatnot, right? So when you ask this question, so nicotine addiction is one of the strongest addictions out there, right? And part of that has to do with we actually have nicotine receptors in our brain. Like we're built to be addicted to that stuff, and some more than others. And so it's really, really hard. And I don't think anyone, unless they have done it themselves, ought to talk about, how hard it is. Like me, I have no idea, but I do understand a little bit about the science of it. And it's really, really difficult. And you're going to be really, really grumpy. And I don't know about any of you, but has your wife ever had PMS, or have you ever had,
when I quit sugar, I was
you quitting sugar. Yeah. We all have our moments, right? Where biologically, there is something going on that is making us very hard to live with.
Yeah. That's true.
So that's probably what she's referring to.
And that's not even counting like outside factors that can play into that. Like if you're trying to quit smoking or quit your nicotine addiction during a time where that addiction is actually giving you some level of solace when there are outside stressors coming in, like it's even harder now. Like trying not to be an alcoholic or a 12-pack a day smoker or whatever. I don't know if anyone smokes 12 packs, but
in 2020 it's pretty hard.
In 2020 is pretty hard, right? Those are your vices to get away from things. It'd be like telling me I can't play a video game during this whole year. Like, forget it. I need it,
And think about that for a moment. That's really what is happening is you're picking I feel like there's a movie where it's like, this is not the time to quit. I don't know. But
it's Airplane.
Yes,
I picked the wrong day to give up smoking.
Yeah.
Then it gets progressively worse and it's eventually sniffing glue or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, that is funny. That is deep in the recesses of my brain. Anyway, so that idea is that shouldn't be easy. It's going to be hard. What you think is supportive, and that gets to maybe the gist, is you got to find out what is supportive for them. And that's tricky to find out when they're grumpy, right? Like when they're already grumpy and you're like, what can I do? It's like, get away from me. And then later it's like, why did you come to me? I mean, you're not going to win. That's maybe the mindset you come to is I'm not going to win. And I do need to check in with them on what they find helpful and not simply do, I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to think of a good example. When you're feeling crappy and someone is just like, okay, let's go to the mall and get your nails done. Well, if that doesn't do it for you, In fact, that would make everything worse for me. That was literally the last thing I would ever want to do.
Yeah.
That's why it came to my head.
Tiffany might be playing, having an impromptu concert.
Oh,
in the food court.
man, Tiffany. I don't want to miss that. I think we're alone now, right?
Right. And so you're thinking this will pull you out of the mood. Now, obviously, we keep doing stuff like that because sometimes it is effective, right? Sometimes, well, now we watch Tiffany and I weirdly feel better. Okay. I wouldn't have predicted that. So it's talking to your partner about what could be, and don't pick a time they're grumpy. I know that's hard when they're quitting, but maybe they vape and then you have a conversation where you're like, okay, so what's the best way for me to help you? Because here's where it boils down to anyone changing a behavior that is primarily seems like it's their thing, right? So he's vaping, you're not. He's trying to quit smoking, you're not.
Yeah.
Is that it then too much focus is on that person's behavior, willpower, like all of those things. They're kind of the center of it. And so you have to be extra careful. If it was mutual, like we're both quitting smoking, you could support each other maybe slightly different ways and hopefully, grab the pack from the other or whatever, and you have the right to do that. But when it's not, it's just one person, you got to be really careful that it's not about shame or it's not about control. So a question I would have for this couple is there any dynamics of he feels, I don't know what genders I'm talking about, but he's a smoker, she's not, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't know was that right? Anyway,
or wait, he's quitting or no. Yeah. He's the smoker.
Doesn't sound like she's.
Yeah. She's not smoking.
She's just helping. Okay. So she just wants to know how to be supportive. So getting to this point of like, is there anything in the relationship where he also feels like she's been controlling? So for example, how he does the dishes or, any other
how
maybe
he loads the dishwasher.
How he loads the dishwasher or, those types of things. Like, is this feel like another thing she's just trying to control? So she has to be extra careful about stuff like that. If that's already maybe in the pantheon of things they experience together. Or him, like you kind of look at the whole picture and go, all right, where are booby traps here? Because they're everywhere in some of these moments, right? Our stuff comes to the forefront when we're particularly stressed or anxious, and again, trying to break a habit that's this difficult to break. And we don't want to make it about you and your relationship. Yeah. So that's the point that I'm getting to.
Right.
Is we don't want his anger about his nicotine deprived brain being about your relationship, because that doesn't do anybody any good. Right. So be aware of those issues and also just check with them about what is the most supportive thing and plan for setbacks, right?
Oh, that's interesting. I've never, what does that mean? Like if you say plan for setbacks, like let's say they one day go, and they vape 400 bags of, I don't know how vaping works, but whatever they do.
That's exactly right.
Big bags.
So so when they do that, like how would you plan for that? Because you're planning to not be as mad, are you saying? Or are you planning to be?
Yeah, prepare your mindset so that you don't kick yourself. Even if you're the one who's trying to quit, you know that there are going to be days it's like, oh, I just had to have that Rice Krispie treat, or I needed to have that.
You're tapping into the reality of how the brain works with deprivation, and a very obvious one is with dieting, right? Mm-hmm. So if I tell myself I can't have something, it's like there's a team of engineers in your brain like, oh yeah, well, everything now will be to get that ding dong.
Oh, let's see if we can make you want it even more.
Yes, and absolutely will, because we are survivalists. Yeah. And if we are without food, I mean, look at toilet paper in March of 2020, right? Everyone went, what will I wipe my butt with? And so then they went nutso. And it wasn't logical in so many ways, but what's very logical is that it is a biological drive to avoid scarcity, right? To have enough to survive. Yeah. And so think about that with the nicotine, with a cupcake. If it's forbidden, the system goes, yeah, no, we need that to survive. So now it's a survival response, which good luck fighting that, right? So part of quitting any kind of substance abuse, specifically with nicotine, right, is that learning how to self-soothe, learning how to manage your stress in different ways. All of those things are going to benefit the act of stopping, because, cigarettes are so often used as stress relief. And it sounds like maybe they've been using for a long time.
Yeah.
So that has been a tool in their tool belt for a long time, and suddenly they don't have it. Well, then you've got to develop some other skills to handle some of that stress, right?
Right.
So that's a big deal, to not be perfectionistic and no mistakes, and it's cold turkey, all or nothing. That does not lead to success. Maybe a personality does better that way sometimes, but for the most part, it kicks our brain into survival mode, and it will fight like it's fighting a tiger in order to get a cigarette.
There is a part of us that's like, the idea of cold turkey anything sounds noble and brave and all or nothing, and like there's something about that you intrinsically admire, but in practice, it feels like that's just a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
And there's a willpower myth that willpower is this, like, some people have more and they're morally better or something. But we know that willpower is finite, right? Like, you can crack every single person for the most part at some there's a level before death where you'll probably crack them. I mean, I'm sure there's brave, soldiers or something, but they've had that sort of parts of them broken down before that moment, right? It's just the average one of us will be like, fine, I'm going to eat that whole thing right now, or, whatever. So our willpower has its limitations, and a big component of that is our biology, right? If I'm fully rested and I've had plenty of nutrition and I'm feeling good, and then I have to use a little willpower for something, much easier. And that's why airplane is correct, and 2020 is a hard time to stop anything.
We're all, whether or not we're getting enough sleep, we all feel like we're unrested.
It's so true. Yeah. It's so true. So there's that. And then there's just one other thought I had about this. And this might be crazy. And this is more like for him. This isn't answering her question. But this makes me laugh so hard because Abe goes to high school. He doesn't go now because he goes to high school in our basement. So that's fun. But anyway, when he used to attend a high school, kids would go in the bathroom and vape, back in the day when you would smoke in the bathroom.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But they go in the bathroom and vape. And so every freshman that he knew, last year they were freshmen, just would hold it, come home and pee like racehorses, because they just wouldn't go to the bathroom all week, because you go in and it's just full of the puffy, whatever,
the smoking kids.
Yeah. And the bathrooms always smelled like cherry and urine.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that was the thing when Simon was living here, because he was vaping, and it would just drive Tina and I nuts, because it was like this Captain Crunch berries smell. Oh, so
you do it in the bathroom and it smells like urine. So my suggestion for this guy is to start to associate vaping smells with bad smell, because that's part of why vaping is so dangerous, especially for young kids, is because it's like having pot in a brownie. I can eat a pan of brownies, you guys. That's a lot of pot, depending on how much is in it. But if I have to smoke it, it's going to take a lot longer, right? And so the dosage and all of that stuff, and with with vaping, is it's like candy, and it's you just, the measurement of it, you're right, is tricky. So he's probably not in that category, because he's obviously trying to quit and using vaping to do so. But there's ways. In fact, Scott, I don't know if you were in the conversation with Becky. Our sister-in-law smoked for how many years?
Oh, long time, 30 years, yeah.
Yeah, and so she vaped for a good while, and then it was able to wean herself off, and she tried everything. And I asked her, like, what was the final, like, what really helped?
Yeah.
And I thought it would be the tapering with vaping, because I just assumed vaping would be helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They call that vaporing, by the way. Just kidding. They don't.
Vaporing.
Are you kids over there vaporing?
You're vaporing. Tapering, vaporing. What's the difference? Anyway, sorry.
So I asked her what it was, and this is awesome. She said, my doctor, who she goes, I'm pretty sure was also a stripper in Vegas.
Wow.
She's like, I know she lived 2 lives. There's no way she didn't. Okay. Just the way she looked. Anyway, she said that doctor did her greatest service to her. She said, she's just staring at her one day in her visit, and she goes, what are you doing? She goes, I'm just memorizing your face. She's like, why? She's like, because I've memorized everyone's face who's died from smoking.
Oh, man.
And I just, it's like I have a little wall in my head and you're going to go on that wall.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
hardcore,
right?
dude.
And she goes, there's something like having a hooker tell you they're going to see you dead.
Right. Yeah, no kidding.
It was really funny. Anyway, she said it absolutely, like, to her core. It was the first time anyone said anything that helped her really motivate her. And then she used the vaping to slowly get off. What happened with the vaping that was helpful, though, and I think this is true for me as a non-smoker, I would much rather see a puff of vape than a puff of smoke because I can't smell one and I can smell the other, is she gets absolutely nauseous when she smells smoke now. Before it would just kick in a craving, right? But slowly vaping has changed. And again, you know, our olfactory bulb in our brain is really close to our memory and, you know, the hippocampus, that area that's emotion and memory. And, you know, we can't pinpoint everything, but they're neighbors, which often means similar blood flow and maybe some shared neurons. And so that's why when we have memories or, you know, whatever, it can be a smell can trigger that, right? And obviously smoking, what it does to our brain is just makes you feel 1,000 times better and relaxed and capable of like handling the rest of the day. That's associated with smell. So if you want to get a little urine cherry, go to any high school. But it's really true. So it's getting away from the smell of cigarettes and it, you know, can also be good. So vaporing to taper is not a bad bet. We just want wife, girlfriend, whatever she is, to make sure she's supportive and not because it will backfire by being. We think supportive is like rehab or something. You got to force
like some kind of.
She's got to figure out ways to reward and not punish.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And going back to this expecting it to not go well. I mean, this is very common when we're in willpower mode and we're just like, I got this. And then any hiccup is, you know, you've fallen off the wagon, that's it. And then you're just spend 3 months doing whatever, right? That's the deprivation mind model, right? If I'm in deprivation and then I eat one cookie, I might as well eat all of them, right? Because we're built to do that. So
plus it hides the evidence.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. If Ernie taught me anything on Sesame Street, it's that if you keep nibbling away on the cookie until it's gone, Bert will never notice it was there in the first place. That's what I learned from Sesame Street.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then you throw the bag away in the neighbor's trash. It's I've got this down to a science.
Yeah. Well done. Well done.
So then you just gotta just plan for it to not go very well and to take a long time.
Yeah.
And that lowering your expectations a little bit but still being supportive. So now you're not also he's not also disappointing you. And that's hard to do, people. We do this all the time. Our interconnectedness means I have expectations of you and you're failing to meet them.
Yeah.
And if we can remove as much of that as possible, that would be helpful, I think, for this.
And a follow-up on this would be awesome. Let us know if this was helpful and how the process is going. And we hope that he's able to kick the habit and that you no longer have to sit there and groove on it when he blows smoke out. You know what I mean? You just got to let it.
Get a little urine pack. I swear it'll change your life.
It'll change everything. Urine pad. That's the answer to life.
Urine pack.
Urine patch.
Oh, patch.
Patch.
I don't know. I said pack. But
yeah.
Okay.
I thought you said pad. Brian heard pack.
I don't know how
I
don't know how vaping even works. Is it a cartridge?
Yeah, neither of you do apparently. It's like a little squeeze bottle of juice that you squeeze into things. It's almost like do I have anything like this?
Like a lighter fluid.
Kind of like these little bottles of
essential oil bottles.
Essential oil diffuser stuff.
Yeah.
But it's got it's more of a plastic bottle, a squeeze bottle you squeeze into the thing.
Yeah. And then and then some of them I think do have cartridges, but those are expensive, right?
Those are expensive. I think Jules I think do cartridges.
Yeah. So
fancy.
It's Simon was always about refilling your vape. Gotta refill it. And then he'd spill that crap all over the basement.
Yep. And then everything smelled like
Captain Crunch berries.
Oh, smell like Captain Crunch. It smelled like Captain Crunch farted down here.
That's so sickly sweet that when you say Captain Crunch berry, all I think of is like pure
Yes,
sugar.
exactly.
Don't you also feel the roof of your mouth being cut up?
A little bit.
I think about that, yeah, with Captain Crunch. It basically smells like the milk tastes after a bowl of Captain Crunch berries.
Foul. That's foul. That is
And
so
yet,
gross.
not foul enough. You
Not
gotta
foul
add
enough, no.
PC smell.
No,
But then you throw the urine in there.
yeah,
And
you get the
you'll
pee
never
in there,
do
and
it.
then everything changes. That's what I say. Well,
right,
all right.
exactly.
Let us know how it goes. Wendy, anything we want to mention about realsteps.org? Any sign-ups
No, but
happening?
let me say one last thing about nicotine. So you can get your DNA tested, right? So
No.
we did
Are
that.
you asking us?
No, but I'm saying you can. And one of the things they sent back was if you had the allele or whatever the predisposition to have more of those nicotine binding receptors, yeah. And so Adam did. He's in the category of like it would be incredibly addictive for him to smoke a cigarette.
Weird.
And I didn't.
Weird.
Not that we've tried to figure out if that's true in real life or not, but that would be interesting. I just want to throw that last thing in. It'd be interesting to look at maybe one day to
know your level of nicotine receptors. Totally, I'd love to know that.
Yeah, I'd like to know. Like, would I be an alcoholic if I drank? Would I?
Oh, for sure. I get freaking high on a child's dose of Dramamine.
Yeah,
so
same.
No,
Same.
I would be.
The Johnson genes are strong with like my dad couldn't take a Tylenol without feeling weird. Like it just we have a sensitivity to drugs and artificial hoo-ha that just throws us.
It's bad. So if we ever go to the hospital, we have to be like, easy on the anesthetic.
Yeah. Don't give me any of those Percocets because you don't want another opioid addict in your lives.
I had morphine once in an ER, and she barely gave me any, and I was like, I'm sorry if I sound like a drug addict, but I need more of that.
Yeah, give me some more of your morphine. I had this happen
It's
with
awesome. But I mean, my point is this: one day, maybe, if the planet doesn't light on fire and explode, maybe we'll have a little more personalized medicine in the future, and it would be fascinating because I know in mental health this is new, and we're trying to get better at this, but we have enough data on who does well on certain medications, and then we have their genes, so we can look at. So I have a client who can see if I try Prozac, what's the likelihood of it's going to fit well with me genetically, and and then others, and so certain drugs work better with certain bodies, and so nicotine is no different. So it'd be interesting if these two got those tested and she had nicotine things off the chart and he didn't, or vice versa.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Well,
anyway,
we're getting
that was
there.
that last little bit there.
Science, everyone, science. All right, Wendy, have a fantastic week, and we'll do this again next week. I can hardly wait. Bye now.
You.
All right. Oh, realsteps.org is where you guys can go and learn more about what Wendy's doing these days. Ugh, we got hiccups for some reason. I don't know why. All right. I need a what's your what's your trick for hiccups?
Recommendation for getting rid of the hiccups?
Yeah, what do you do?
Yeah, I don't know, because there's the old thing of like, all right, you drink water from the other side of the glass, right? You basically bend over and drink like you're inhaling it.
Oh, like you're
there's breathing into a paper bag, there's a spoonful of sugar, there's
Wait, actually, you telling me about the upside down glass made it stop. I'm not.
That's really what it takes.
It's just
thinking
suggestion?
about doing that.
Okay. Yes. Just mental suggestion. Wow, weird.
Oh, AV Tech John posted WebMD's hiccups treatments. I'm guessing. By the way, if you have hiccups, you're gonna die.
You're gonna die. First of all, we need to let you know that it could be 18 forms of cancer, just so we don't get lawsuited.
That's right.
But really,
you know what's funny? What triggers hiccups with me? Guaranteed. Jalapeno.
Oh, interesting.
If I have jalapeno, like a slice of jalapeno on my pho, which I absolutely love, a slice of jalapeno on my pho, then I start getting hiccups immediately. And Tina always laughs, like, "Okay, well, you do it every time, Ryan.
That's
you
hilarious.
Do it yourself."
That's weird. I used to get my ears would plug when I would eat not Chipotle. What's the sauce that's like Chipotle? It's Chipotle sauce.
Sure,
but not
like
the
Tabasco.
Restaurant. Yeah, not the restaurant, but actual anything labeled Chipotle version of Tabasco.
Tabasco makes a great Chipotle.
Yeah, and that stuff.
Tabasco.
And that's the stuff. If I eat any of that, put it on a wing or whatever, my ears get plugged up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's definitely some allergy thing there.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's really weird. I can't hardly hear anybody for like 10 minutes. I don't like it.
Huh.
So
Crazy.
I don't
Yeah, so
do a
here are
lot
the
of
things the
Chipotle.
WebMD says.
Yeah.
Hold your breath and swallow 3 times. Breathe into a paper bag. Drink
Okay.
a glass of water quickly. Swallow a teaspoon of sugar. Pull on your tongue.
Ew. What? With what? With what? Your hand?
With your hand, Scott. Oh my God.
Gross.
It's Scott's favorite combination of tongue and finger connection.
That sounds horrible. The idea of me grabbing my own tongue with my fourth finger and my thumb sounds terrible.
I guess you could do it with a pair of tongs, right? Or
I guess so. Oh, that's gross. I don't know why that's
and
gross.
Then, gargle with water.
Well, those all seem pretty simple-minded, don't they? Those
do.
ideas.
Cold. Right. Home remedies on WebMD.
Well, whatever it is, you explaining your thing made it go away, so I'm good now.
Good deal. I'm sure that was the
It was very
case.
good. All right, I'm going to play this bonus mashup we got from Jamie. It is called Poorly Remembered. It's another one of these.
Oh,
And
fantastic.
Here's what's funny. I'm like, oh, cool. His words to me were, this is where you and Brian forget things. Well, if I'm honest, it's mostly you. Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah, well,
Jeez. Cruelty.
if whatever the thing is, if the thing fits, what's the thing that's supposed to fit?
The
If
shoe.
thing,
The shoe.
I'm kidding.
I know,
Scott.
but
That
it's
was-
funny that you, I see, I know, I get it. There's a good joke that you did.
You know what I'm trying to do,
Yeah, it was good. All right, here it is. I'll play it. Enjoy, everybody. And thanks, Jamie, once again.
Alexis Beadell. Is
Yeah.
it Rory? That's it.
Rory.
Oh,
Is it Beadell, Bladell, Bleed Hole? What is it?
jeez.
Frame Slam Bame.
Dang.
I can't think of it.
Theory of everything.
With Scrambled Flame Game. Scream.
Why am I there? Eddie Redmayne.
Eddie Redmayne, that's it.
Truman's wife from the Truman Show, whose name all of a sudden I can't remember.
Oh, McKinney? No, Catholicism.
Kinney, something like that.
McKinley, Captain McKinley, Corn Cob McKinley. That's it.
Corn Cob McKinley, or Laura Linney, maybe we'll say.
That's it. That'll do, pig. That'll do, pig. It's Zephyrin Cochran. I can't think of his real name. James Polk. James John. I can't think of his name. James something. Cameron. James.
No. Dang it.
Flanderbean. Flanderbean.
All right, move on.
The one with the winemaking dudes. What's that one?
Sideways.
Sideways.
I don't think he did Sideways. I thought that was.
Oh, I thought that was him. Do I have that wrong?
No, Sideways was.
Quincy O'Keefe. Flynn McFarkle's nuts.
Anytime that I think I might be able to come up with something.
Who's the lady? What was her name?
That was.
Marianne Ginger. Frances McDormand. Lady Macbeth. Nope.
Who was Scarlett O'Hara? Should know this.
Francine.
Vivian Lee.
Vivian Lee. That's it.
Who's the dude who played Shaggy in the Scooby-Doo movies, the recent Scooby-Doo movies?
He was in SLC Punk. Broadway Phil. I don't know.
That's it. Yes, exactly. Broadway Phil.
Or what's his name? Jake or Blake or Flack? Who left? Flam.
Liam, right? Wasn't it Liam? Or?
No, Liam's still there, I think. Slack, Flack, Blim Flack. When Blim Flack left the band.
Harry Lewis, Neal,
Yeah.
Zane.
Yeah, Zane, that's it.
Okay, all right.
Jeez Louise, where was that word? Flack from, the One Direction
yes.
kid, Flack.
Yes,
Yeah.
the kid named Flack. Yeah, he with the one with the hair, right? The one with the hair.
Oh, that's amazing.
Here's what I love about him doing that is that for the most part, he doesn't include the payoff.
No.
So it sounds like one long thing that we're trying to remember. Like Harry, Corn Cob McGillicuddy,
Yeah.
Flynn, Flack.
Once in a while you get Laura Linney, but the rest of them we still don't really know the answers
That's
to
right.
any of it.
Exactly.
That was fantastic. All
so
right.
good.
Well done, Jamie. Keep those coming. TMS Mashups on Twitter if you want to follow him. And if I could tell the fine folks at home, as per usual, if you'd like to support this show and all that we do, patreon.com/TMS is the place to do it. It's a newish month. If you haven't gotten in before, now you can. Even for a measly $1 a month, you get extra show on Fridays. You get all kinds of daily bonus content. It's just a cavalcade of bad decisions on Brian and I's part. So go take advantage of us. Patreon.com/TMS. For everything else, it's the morning stream at what is it? Productpants.com/TMS and the morning stream at gmail.com. Get those movie submissions in for our film festival.
Yes. Tuesday is our date. What can I tell you about some stuff that's going in the box?
Yeah, tell me what's in the box.
What's in the box? A World of Warcraft Griffin plushie.
Whoa.
Like this thing is like, this big. It's like a big old Griffin plushie. I found a collector's item piece here.
Yeah. Brian's off finding a thing. This is good content. He's searching. He's under the floor now. Secret hideaway is where he keeps the bodies. No one knows about that.
I've already got it in the box ready to go.
Oh, there we go.
This in my hands.
Yeah. 2013?
It's you tell me the year. It has this Obey Henry mouse pad.
Oh, 2015.
2015.
Yep.
So a 2015 Nerdtacular gift bag with all the contents inside it.
Nice.
Oh, here it is right here. Yeah, Nerdtacular 2015.
Yep, there we go. One of the
well done.
art bits. That's amazing. That's great.
Yes.
That was the best year we ever had. That was an amazing year.
This was a great year, yes. So that's going in there with the mouse pad, with the sticker, with the prints, all that stuff, as well as the Griffin plushie. I found some other cool things. Had some stuff sent to us. The Griffin plushie, and I'm blanking on the name. And unfortunately, the recycling guy just took the box away that got sent in. I can't look it back up. Anyway, somebody had sent in some stuff to include in our prize bin, and that Griffin plushie is going to be a big one.
Very cool. I've got some stuff to add to that box as well. So get your short films in. Let's get this going.
Yes, and just a reminder: create your own ending explained, or 10 things wrong with, or reaction video. Keep it to a viable length, but we're not going to put a time limit on it.
Yeah.
And send us a link. We want to watch it.
Yep.
And they're due Tuesday the 15th, I think we said.
15th of the month, yeah.
This coming Tuesday. So do it this weekend. Win a prize.
Get it to us, yo. All right.
That's right.
That's it for the show. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll be back with a PM edition tomorrow. Actually, we'll be doing apps tomorrow. So watch for that.
I've got an app. Can I talk about the app that I been hooked on that you can only get if you're from Malaysia?
Totally. You totally can.
Or the Philippines?
You totally can, because I think the more talk that thing gets, the better likelihood of a sooner
demand
thing.
People have for bringing it to the States. Come on.
I want that game, so let's do it. All right, so there's all that. Let's do that. Song, though, for now. What do you got there for a song now?
How